Good morning, my name is Susanna Antico, and since almost 20 years I call myself a lighting designer. I mean that I have an architectural design education, so I'm actually an architect, and I became a lighting designer because after having dealt with a very important restoration project, I found myself in need of someone that had some competence in lighting. And when I asked my client where was the lighting designer, he didn't know what I was talking about. He said, well, the manufacturer or the electrical engineer will deal with that. And I was really very surprised. We're talking back in the 90s. So I started to gather information to see if there was a lighting designer available. And there was none. So I studied, and I got so passionate about lighting that when that project was finished, I decided to just devote my future to lighting design. And at that time, it was very difficult to study lighting design on an architectural or master basis. So I just went to colleagues, to lighting designers, and started to learn on the field. And this was a little bit more than 20 years ago. And I never went back to architectural design, to traditional architectural design. Lighting is really my thing, and lighting design is my passion. I've started, like everyone, with doing trying a bit of everything. But in the last 10-15 years, my practice has been busy mainly with urban lighting, urban spaces. And I've been working a lot abroad. My office is based in Milano, and I've been working a lot in Belgium, where, by the way, I got my architectural degree, in Switzerland lately. And I've done very satisfying work with the main square in Antwerp. The profession today is very challenging. It has always been challenging because you have two parts. You have quantitative lighting, the one that you calculate, and was mainly the field of engineers, and you have qualitative lighting, and that's the one that deals with perception with a human being. So the profession really wants you to have a lot of knowledge related to technology and to human beings, to sociology, psychology, and so on. It's true that since the upcoming of the LEDs, things got much more complex. So the technical preparation has been predominant. We need to be very competent in order to be able to give good services when the offer is now so variated. Everyone sells LEDs, everyone makes LEDs. LEDs are good for everything. No matter what you have, you get LEDs and the problem is solved. But now we need to get involved in what is also the effect on health. What is the how can we guarantee that the system that we design will last for a long time? So you cannot longer say, well, I achieved the degree, I know a certain knowledge, and just continue forever. You need to get updated, and this is also very interesting as a challenge. And it's a profession that is still a young profession. We've been saying that for many years, but we say that among colleagues. For example, architects and engineers really don't know what we do. We think we are superfluous. Manufacturers don't know. They don't think we're superfluous, but they have some doubts. And so on. People that sells luminaires are almost sure that we are actual issue. We're a bit of a problem. So people need to know us because we're really necessary. It's like if you don't care about the way you're going to perceive, feel, and see a space, it's like you have a child and you abandon it. lighting designers need to belong to the working team because they are the one that will allow you to enjoy the space, to feel well in that space. When I say feel well, so you need to know about the culture, the specific culture of a place, the psychology, the expectations, and know all these mechanisms of perceptions that bring you to appreciate or to go to a certain space and so on. So there is a lot of work. The profession is an interesting profession, but it's very challenging, but all design professions are challenging. Well, this is an interesting question. Where do I look? Where do I look for when I hire a young lighting designer? My practice has always had the specificity of being a sort of a big family. You have big organized offices where efficiency is the most important thing, and in my practice is that people work well together. That's what I like most. So I look people that is very motivated. So they also need to be competent, but I think that a competence, if you're motivated, you can learn it. If you're not motivated, you can be very, very competent, but then it's very, very difficult to work in a team. Working in a team is extremely difficult, so this is what we need today. We no longer have one person that is able to do everything. So I look definitely for competencies, and thanks to all the marvelous master's programs and schools that you can find all over the world, and thanks to the big lighting design community that is to be found now everywhere, you can study. So I look for competencies, I look for enthusiasm, I look for preparation, and I look for curiosity. And also a bit of humbleness. Very often the young lighting designer come and they want to design. Oof, you want to design. There is so much that needs to be done before you can design. Just learning how to convince the client about your project is so important. But let's say that what schools today offer, I think it's a very, very, very high level. The Master of the Politecnico is, I think, a very interesting one. It has great teachers, and then it has a very nice program. I really like this division in packages, so you can decide if you prefer to be an interior lighting designer, exterior, if you want to deal with museum or retail and so on. It has a very general preparation. And I also like the fact that there are students from all over the world. And I think it's a good opportunity to find an internship and find your way in the lighting design world. Thank you.